So, welcome back. We're getting closer to the end of this R2D2 tutorial. So, the good thing that it's going to be online, so if you haven't finished it by today, don't panic. Do it in your off time. Use the tutorials as a way to be able, the videos to be able to do this. So the last part that we're going to do now with this R2D2 to complete it is we're going to go ahead and take the legs and the foot and we're going to mirror it on towards the opposite orientation. So R2D2 has two legs to work with. So how do we do that? The first thing we're going to do first is we're going to look at the piece that we're going to mirror. And the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that on your right here on your object properties that you don't have any sort of funky rotations on it, because if you do have any funky rotations on your object when you mirror it, it's going to show like that on screen and it's not going to work. So to get rid of that, you're going to do you're going to do Alt A, going to Control A, sorry, and then you're going to, when you see apply, you're going to set rotation and scale. So that's going to reset your any sort of rotation that you have on your gizmo. So once that's done, we need to move now the main origin. And as you can see, what we're going to do to mirror this correctly, we're going to make sure that the origin is the pivot point is going to be at 0. So when we mirror it, it's correctly in the right orientation to the other side. So how do we do that? We are going to go to the front view. And then we are going to zoom all the way down, and let's go ahead and hide this reference image because we don't need that. Okay, we're going to zoom all the way down to 0, 0, 0, 0 here, that point, as close as you can. And then with snap selected, you're going to take your cursor and click it right there. It's good. And then you're going to take and select your leg, go to modifiers, add mirror, and then turn off the axis to X to Y. And as you can see, I made the mistake of the origin didn't move for some stupid reason. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And when I have the object selected, I'm going to do set origin to 3D cursor. It's good. And then I'm going to go back again to mirror, turn off X. And now, as you can see, the leg is mirrored more or less to the opposite direction. So we're going to go ahead and do the same to the foot. So this foot right here, if we go down to the object properties, as you can see, this rotation, if I do the mirror on it, it's going to screw up everything. So how are we going to fix that? Again, you're going to hit Control A on it, and then you're going to reset the origin, click on rotation and scale, and as you can see, now it's gone. And then the same deal, the cursor is already there, so you're going to right click on the model, set origin to 3D cursor. Boom, it's been moved. And then if I go now to modifiers and go to mirror, again X, Y, and then as you can see now, it's more or less mirrored to the right location that it should be. So as you can see, we're getting a little bit closer to finishing R2D2. So the next part we're going to do when we're in mirror mode, that means the original parent or the first mesh that we're using, whatever we do to that, is going to translate over to the next one. So the next thing we need to do now is we're going to go ahead and optimize this leg. So let's go ahead and do this, and let's go ahead and clear the stuff we're not going to use. Hide that, H, and here is where the fun starts, optimization. So you're going to go into edit mode, and then some of the stuff, as you can see, and the main rule of thumb, like I probably told you at this point, if you have any sort of geometry and it does nothing for your mesh, then you need to get rid of it. If you have any sort of vertex, any cuts, or anything like that, if it does nothing for the mesh, you're going to get rid of it. So in this way, we're going to use Blender's really nice way of optimizing. So let's see which ones are we not going to use and which ones are we not going to need. So let's see. The first thing we can do is let's try and go to see if we can get rid of this cut right here, which really does nothing without screwing up the whole model. So if I hit Alt, it selects the whole thing. And then as you can see, I have an idea that if I get rid of it, it's not going to have a negative effect. So what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and do X and then dissolve edges. And as you can see now, the edges are gone and they are doing nothing. And there, it didn't have a negative effect on the mesh. So you know what? Before I move on to this, go ahead and hide the rest because this is just going to get in the way and annoy me. And for the time being, we can hide this as well because we don't really need it. So now we've started the optimization process. So let's go back. So I got rid of that. And let's see. So the next part, we have this little weird place right here on the mesh, which is, it's like a 5-sided square, but it's connected to nothing. So to close that off, we're going to collect these 2 points right here, and we're going to hit J to connect them. And you're going to go to the other side right here, and J to connect them. So now let's see, what else can we remove? So I believe, let's see if I'm not mistaken, if I go back to edge mode, this one long line here, I hit Alt and click it. Believe if I get rid of it, it's not going to have a negative consequence for my mesh, but let's see. So you hit X, dissolve edges, and as you can see now, that's gone, and you're effectively starting the process of optimizing this mesh and such. So that's good. So let's see. These right here, this row does nothing. So to change that, we're going to do it a little different. We're going to go to vertex mode, make sure your snap's turned on, and then take one of these, lower it down here, boom. Take this one, lower it down here. As you can see, the shape is still the same, except it does really nothing. So when I get rid of it, it's still good. And let's see, where else can we do some more optimizing and such? This one, this point right here could also lose it. So you know what, let's go and take it here. And we're going to do the same for the other one. Take this one, rotate it, snap it here. And again, if you're in options and you have auto merge, it's a really nice little feature on Unity or Blender that saves time. Auto merge, the second I snap these 2 vertices together, they merge together. That is fucking fantastic. So we're going to take advantage in some of the other places where we don't need it. So the next one is this row right here. That doesn't need to stay. That doesn't need to stay. And the one place where you're probably going to keep it is the places you need to sort of make up the necessary locations for the mesh. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and take this vertex here and snap it up to this point, because you still need this right here to make that. Go to the other side, snap it up to the top. And then right here, I don't think we need this cut, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this one right here, push it right here. That's good. We don't need that. What else don't we need? This one. This is sometimes when you're optimizing, it can be a little tricky to figure out where you're going to place some of these vertices that you merge together. So let's see, this one right here, I think it could still be good if I go there. Go to this one. It's good. And then for this bottom one right here, my feeling is probably going to be better if I take these and take them to the bottom. So take this one, snap it to there, this one, snap it to there, and as you can see, it retains the shape of the mesh, but you are slowly bringing down the polygon count. It's good. And this one right here as well, boom, it's also good. That looks good. No, wrong place. So you always have to make sure that you put it in the right location before you move on. That's good. And where else? Need those. This row right here you don't really need, so you can take this. I did it on the other side, but not for the other one. Right here. There, that's good. Anywhere else that I can see some optimization, I will try and do it. Let's see. You see, okay. This one right here, this one, as you can see, it does nothing. It doesn't add to the shape, so I can take this row right here, snap it up, snap it up, snap it up, and snap it up. And I do believe, unless I want to start stripping some of these details right here that I like onto the mesh, I do believe that is enough to do the trick. So if you look on the other side, it's going to be the same optimization has been done onto the other side. So I am going to go ahead and go to object mode. And now that I'm in object mode, let's see, everything's done. Everything's been done. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this. So now when I apply this, it's no longer parented, so that means this is just now a unique mesh. So as you can see now, both sides have it optimized like that, and it's really nice to save time. So for example, another way that you could use this mirroring as well is when you unwrap your item. If, let's say, when you look at the unwrap for these two legs, it's probably going to be the same. You could also argue, instead of collapsing it like I did, you could also just unwrap it as well, mirrored, and then make a copy of it, and then separate the UVs. Once you've done the UVs for one of them, you'll have it done for the other one. But in this case, I'm just showing you the optimization process. So they're pretty good. So that's one object. I like that. And then I'm going to go forward to my screen, Alt-H, hide everything. And then I want this to be separate, this object to be separate. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Edit Mode, Face, and I'm going to hit L. Hopefully Shift and L works for this. Oh, yeah. If I hit L again, it selected that. L again on this one. So as you can see, now that I have the whole element, oh, one more, hover over this, I have the whole element selected. What am I going to do? I am going to go ahead and detach this. So to detach this, I'm going to hit P, selection, and now that's its own mesh. Good. And let's go ahead and fix the pivots on these so they work nicely when you need to rotate this thing. So how do you do that? Select on the mesh, and then you go into 3D mode. You know what? I don't need the reference anymore. I think I'm done modeling this, so I can go ahead and delete that. Delete. So I'm going to zoom in, click on this one, and I'm going to go on cursor right here. I'm going to click right there and set origin to 3D cursor. So if you want to get a little bit more specific, then you turn off snap. Cursor right there. Hopefully that didn't move it. Oh, how annoying. Why must you? Because in 3D Studio Max, whenever you're trying to set the origin, you just take and you move the origin itself. So I'm just going to keep it for here right now and say set origin to 3D cursor. And then I'm going to do the same. This one right here. Click on this one. Same deal. Just click on your cursor. Click to what makes sense as the connection point, and then do set origin to cursor. You're good. And let's see, is this one going to need any sort of optimizing? The foot could be that it needs it, so I'm going to go to edit mode. Yeah, you can do some optimizing on this. So let's go ahead and hide the rest. H, 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 H. So let's go ahead and do the optimizing on this foot part. And we're going to go into edit mode. And it's going to be the same deal we did with some of these as well. So let's go ahead and click on this one. We could press 2 to go to edge. And the first one that can go is we hit Alt. That one doesn't necessary. So you click the whole row, hit X, dissolve edges, Alt, X, dissolve edges. And these right here can probably be moved down. So I'm going to go to vertex mode, turn on snap. And then go right here and lower that. Whoops. And I believe that's all that you can do on this mesh. So now as you can see, it's done it for the other one. So go to object mode, exit that, hit Alt H. I have an idea this small foot could probably use a little bit of optimization. Let's see what we need for that. So go to edit mode and 2 to go to edge, and this one right here can go. So if you hit X, dissolve edges, boom, it's gone. This one as well, X, dissolve edges, Alt and click, X, dissolve edges, and then finally We get to this one, snaps turned on. You take these, lower it to the bottom, lower to the bottom, lower to the bottom, and lower it to the bottom. So we have one final step is to go ahead and separate the meshes for that foot. So exit this. Now that we optimized the center one and this one right here, we're going to go ahead and take and apply changes. And then we're going to go to edit mode and then hovering over the object L, 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 L. As long as you hover over it, you're adding to the selection, and then you're going to hit P to separate, and then you're just going to go and exit edit mode, object mode, set origin to geometry, set origin to, oh, see, wrong, set origin to geometry, and there you go. You're probably going to do a little adjusting with some of the pivot points, but we'll probably get to that when we rig this, and or if we rig it and such. I don't know how it's going to progress this project, but as you can see now, you have a fully made R2-D2 model, ready made for games and such, and the next step is we're probably going to unwrap this at some point. So there you go. Hope this was easy to follow, and hopefully my rambling voice wasn't too much. Good luck to you with this, and like I said, if you're not finished this by the end of the day, don't panic, get it done at some point. So that's the end of this video. Thank you very much.